The glass exploded against the hardwood, shards scattering like tiny stars. A sharp, crystalline cry cut to the laughter and clinking champagne. I froze, hands midair, watching red wine bleed into the rug, spreading like a wound. David stood in the doorway, his face ghost white with fury. His eyes weren't on the broken glass. They were fixed on me, and Ethan, our neighbor, whose arm had lingered against mine just a moment too long. The room quieted, conversations faltering into hushed murmurs. My heart began to race, pounding like it already knew the storm about to hit. David's jealousy had always seemed harmless, a small insecurity I could calm with a kiss or a laugh. But tonight, there was something else in his stare, a chill, a darkness that crawled beneath my skin. "Clara," he said, his voice low, smooth, but sharp enough to cut. "We need to talk. Now." Ethan stepped back, his smile fading. The air thickened, heavy with what no one dared say aloud. I forced out a laugh that sounded brittle even to my own ears. "It's just a party, David. Relax." But his gaze didn't soften. It followed me, burning, as I moved away into crowd, my pulse hammering like a drumbeat of dread. The night had started so harmlessly. Our annual neighborhood get-together. String lights glowed across the backyard, the air warm with grilled steak and jasmine. I wore my favorite emerald dress, the one David said made my eyes light up. Ethan, newly divorced and slightly rugged, arrived carrying a bottle of Merlot and that easy charm of his. We talked for hours, laughing across the patio table. The cool night wrapping around us. Harmless, I told myself. Just a spark. Just a reminder that I could still feel seen, still feel alive, after months of David's late nights, clipped conversations, and distracted kisses. But David saw. I caught him watching from across the lawn, jaw clenched, hand tightening around his beer. I should have gone to him, taken his hand, diffused the tension. Instead, I leaned closer to Ethan, let my laughter linger, my fingertips brush his when I poured the wine. It felt good, too good, and I never imagined it would cost me everything. By midnight, the guests were gone, only empty glasses and half-eaten desserts left behind. Ethan stayed, offering to help clean. I said yes, ignoring the quiet warning in my gut and the silence in David's eyes. We stood shoulder to shoulder in the kitchen, the air humming with unspoken tension. "You seem different tonight," Ethan said softly, searching my face. "Happier." I opened my mouth, but before I could answer, David's voice sliced through the room, cold, final. "Clara, he's leaving. Now." Ethan didn't argue. He just nodded and walked out, his footsteps fading into the night. David and I cleaned in silence, the clatter of dishes louder than any argument. I wanted to explain, to insist it meant nothing, but the words stuck, heavy with guilt I couldn't yet name. When we finally crawled into bed, he turned away. His back was a wall of ice. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying every laugh, every glance, wondering when harmless had become dangerous. By morning, his side of the bed was cold, untouched. I ran downstairs, the house still, thick with the scent of spilled wine. His car was gone. On the counter, a note in his neat handwriting. I know what I saw. I'm done. My chest constricted. I called his phone again and again, each unanswered ring tightening around my throat. Desperate, I texted Ethan. His reply came seconds later. "I'm sorry, Clara. I shouldn't have crossed that line." "What line?" I whispered to no one. My thoughts spiraled. Every touch, every look, every laugh. Had I wanted more than I'd admitted? Had I made him believe there was something real between us? I sat on the kitchen floor, trying to breathe, trying to untangle what was truth and what was wishful denial. David's jealousy had always been there, a shadow behind us. But this felt final. I called my sister, my voice shaking as I spilled everything. She hesitated before saying softly, "He's overreacting." But I could hear the question she didn't ask. "What did you really do, Clara?" Days blurred together. No calls. No messages. David's office said he'd taken leave. I wandered through the house, touching his mug, his leather jacket, small relics of a life already fading. Neighbors whispered when I passed. Ethan kept his blinds shut tight. Then I noticed things I'd ignored before. The perfume on his jacket, the locked drawer in his desk, the late nights that no longer seemed so innocent. My heartbreak twisted into suspicion, then anger. Had he been the one lying all along? On the third day, I found it. A letter in his desk, my name scrawled across the envelope. I saw you with him. Clara, but you didn't see me. I've been trying to fix us, to be enough, but I can't anymore. I'm sorry for what I did. You'll understand soon. My hand shook. Tears smeared the ink. Images flashed, his distance, his secrets, the evasive nights. I tore through his desk, finding bank statements, a second phone, a message to an unknown number. Meet me tonight. She won't suspect. The truth hit like a freight train. He hadn't just left me. He'd been leaving for a long time. The party, the flirting. It was just the excuse he needed to finally go. I collapsed to the floor, sobs racking my chest. And beneath the pain, something else burned. Anger. He'd make me the villain, the unfaithful one, while he walked away clean. I grabbed my phone with trembling hands and typed, "Ethan, meet me. We need to talk." When he arrived, his face was pale, his eyes hollow. "Clara, I didn't mean to," he began. I cut him off, shoving the letter into his hands. "Did you know?" He read it slowly, shoulders sagging. "I suspected," he said quietly. "I saw him at a bar last month with someone. I didn't want to believe it. My knees buckled. He caught me, steady, shaking, guilty. Why didn't you tell me?" I whispered. "Because," he said, voice breaking, "I wanted you to choose me. Not because he broke you." The room closed in, suffocating with betrayal, his David's and my own. I had flirted to feel alive, but in doing so, I'd lit the match that burned everything down. Hours later, I stood alone in the empty house, bags by the door, keys on the counter. The life we built, the walls, the laughter, the lies, all ashes now. As I stepped outside, streetlights blurred through my tears. My heart still pounded, but not from fear. For the first time in years, I felt something sharp and clear. I had lost my home, but found my freedom. And somehow, I knew I would rebuild.